Welcome to the Mounting Block. I'm Oriel.
And I'm Marissa.
We're here to inspire each other and, of course, you, our listeners, as we navigate the wild ride of rediscovering our love for horses while juggling work, kids, businesses, and a million other things.
From tackling fears to finding time in between school drop-offs, spilt snacks, business meetings, and marriage, we're here to share the laughs, the lessons, and the occasional mishap in the saddle.
So grab a coffee, a wine, maybe even a lead rope if you're game, and join us for honest, uninterrupted conversations, a bit of mum life mayhem, and a whole lot of encouragement.
This is a Mounting Block. Let's get a leg over and join us for the ride. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Mounting Block.
Hello. It's good to be back.
It is. We did have a little break last week. We had a very busy week last week.
We had a really busy week last week. But unfortunately, I mean, there was some horse riding in the busyness of last week.
There was some horse riding, but there's been a lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
A lot of rugging and sopping wet rugs and sopping wet horses.
Yeah, you might notice my hair is wet. I've been feeding horses in the rain.
Commitment.
We love our ponies.
Commitment.
Yeah.
So we had a pretty exciting weekend and I think, you know, it was the first time, well, my daughter and you showed your ponies.
We went to our little local show. Well, it's not so little, is it?
No, it was pretty serious stuff, wasn't it? There was a PA announcement. There were stewards. There were judges. And you did your first your first hacking experience.
We should actually preface this by saying the day before, because of all the rain, my lesson had been cancelled. And so Marissa and I had gone out to
an indoor arena. And I had been I'd not done any hacking before. I didn't really know what to do. So Marissa told me what to do. I got in trouble from Marissa for disrespecting my judge. She did not salute me as she halted.
But I did learn on that one lesson the day before how to hack.
How to hack. From my experience 30 years ago.
Yes, from your experience and some video watching.
That's right.
And that was wonderful because as it turned out, we went to do the competition. It was a little scary. Well, for those of you who listen to this podcast know that everything's a little scary when it comes to riding a 17-hand horse. But he was amazing.
He was so good.
And we ended up getting reserve champion. So we came second.
And what a ribbon. A big green ribbon with yellow tassels. And for those who don't understand hacking, and we'll try and explain this with our very limited knowledge, but essentially you do these lots of little classes and they're dependent on whether it's your first time riding in a show, whether it's your horse's first time, whether it's a type of height class. Well, they're all height classes because you're in the hacks and we're in the pony ring, and then there's a Galloway ring, which is the mid-size horses. And then it's depending on what that particular class is. So my daughter rode in a good hands class, or like how your horse looks, or how you as a rider ride. So there's all different classes. But to qualify, you have to get first in one of the classes. Or I think the particular one that you were riding in, you had to get first place to be able to qualify to do the championship round, essentially. Yeah. So you qualified, and then next minute you're in with 10 other horses?
Eight. Yeah.
And then you get sent off to do your little routine. Yeah. And that is what you became reserve champion. Supreme champion is first. Reserve champion is second, and there's only first and second.
So the funniest thing was because I did not expect to place, and then the other ones you get first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. But in this one you only get first and second. And I did not expect to place. So I was sort of looking around. I was seeing if I could see your daughter anywhere. And, I heard him say, okay, the bay comes first. And, so she went out and got her ribbon sort of put on the neck. I was like, oh, well done, everything like that. And then I sort of, my attention started wandering again. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's my husband over there, my kids. And he'd said then, and bring the grey forward, which is basically,
you were the only grey.
So I was the only grey. And I was thinking, and the girl next to me went, that's you.
Oh, did she?
And I went,
I'm getting a ribbon. So cool. I'm so proud of you.
Funny. And then all the girls were laughing because there weren't any boys in this competition. All the girls then thought that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, bless. And then your husband, I was already in the stable by this stage. I did get to record your winning round. And then I ran down to see my daughter at the stable, and your husband ran around with like a big 2. Right, she's got second. So gorgeous. But it was such a fun day. I mean, the whole preamble to it is, you're platting up the horses. So we got our lovely neighbourhood girl to come and plait them because, that's just, we don't really know what we're doing to do Rosette. She's such a gorgeous kid. So we were happy to outsource that part, and then we float them in the morning and get them all settled, and then it's all about the outfits. So, pretty brow bands and jackets and all the things.
And your daughter did so well.
She did so well. Yeah. She was so nervous. It was the first time she's ever been to a show as well, and she was so nervous, and then she just sort of got into it. And I think the beauty of hacking is that it is class after class after class. So you just sort of get into the swing of it, and then by the end she was really, really relaxed, and she came away with ribbons, and she just had such a fun time. So, and that's what it's all about, right? Yep. Like it's fun. And I think, there's not as much pressure on it as other events. And it was a district day, so you had to live locally. So it was so fun. Gosh, at one point though, the wind picked up really extremely, and there was bunting to separate the rings. And all of a sudden, all these ponies in this class sort of all went sideways across each other, getting away from the wind.
Bunting.
Yeah, but it was, I was very proud of you both.
Yeah, it was lovely, and it was,
I think you found a call in hacking, just saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Clock up all the glory on those hacking show rings.
Meantime, while all this has been going on, you've been continuing on your dating journey.
I have been continuing on my horse dating journey. And, oh my gosh, I spoke to, I'm not going to name names, but I think I've spoken about how there are some very dodgy people in the horse world. And I spoke to this guy the other day, and he sounded like he had this, great little mare. Next minute he says, oh, why don't we FaceTime? And he's showing me her, and I mean, he's shirtless, which I found a bit odd. FaceTime. I was like, okay. And then next minute he's taking a rug off, and she's got this big sort of burn mark, or it wasn't a burn, like a rub mark on her rump, and it was just not truthful what he was telling me. One minute he was saying, she's mine and my partner's horse, and we just really love her. We've had her for 2 years. She's really quiet, this, that, and the other. But I haven't really done anything with her. Next minute I was going to breed her, but I've decided not to. And then she came up from Tamworth a month ago, and she got an injury from the transport department. And I'm thinking, well, that's weird. Like,
if you've had her for 2 years.
If you've had her for 2 years, why'd she go interstate? Anyway, then I said to him, oh, well, what's her name? And he went blank, and he couldn't.
I couldn't remember her name.
He goes, no, I can't. Mate, I don't know. And I thought,
this is a horse that you've loved.
This is your horse? And he goes, I got so many of them. Turns out he had 8. 8.
8 names are very hard to remember. 8 names.
I'm pretty sure if I had 8 horses, I'd know which horses which.
Yeah.
And I just then, you know what? I think he has bought this horse either from a sale yard cheap and trying to flog her off, and she's not his horse.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you live and learn. Yes. And I'm not driving out to see that horse, nor him.
No.
But he might be shirtless again. He might be pantless. Who knows?
Oh my God, don't put that.
Who knows what I'd find? Yes, that's definitely not on the visit list. But tomorrow I am going to go meet a horse. So she's about an hour and a half away. So I'm feeling very excited about this one. So I shall report back.
She's beautiful. I've seen pictures of her. She's absolute big feet.
I know.
Big feet, fluffy feet.
Let's see. Wish me luck, everyone. Here's hoping.
Wish luck.
Yeah. Getting very impatient now. I'm tired of it.
I'm impatient.
Yes.
I'm impatient. Yes. Very impatient.
It's not okay.
It's not okay that you're not riding with me.
No, it's not okay. It's very frustrating, and I'm definitely missing it. I'm actually getting to the point where I'm like, shit, do I remember how to ride? There's muscle memory, right?
Yeah, there's muscle memory, and you are a much better rider than you think you are. So, yes,
that's kind of you.
It's not being factual.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. We'll see. We'll report back. Hopefully wish me luck for tomorrow.
I wish you luck. I wish you luck.
Yes.
So we have got a fabulous guest coming up.
Yes, Kim Costa.
Yes.
Is her name, and she is based in Georgia.
Georgia, that's right.
Yes, over in the States. So it took a little bit of coordinating for us to get the interview timing.
Yep. Well, I'm not very good at the international times, even though I have to deal with them all the time. So, it took a couple of weeks to sort it out. Thank you for being patient, Kim.
Yes, thank you for being patient.
But she's incredible, actually. You're going to love her. I'm just going to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. She's the host of the Live in Your Wheelhouse podcast and an author of Live in Your Wheelhouse, an empowering guide to stay, go, or reno, which was only published this year, actually. It was published in March of 2026. What is the book about? Well, you're going to find out when we talk to her. So let's bring her in.
Let's bring Kim in.
And here she is, our fabulous guest. Kim, welcome. It's so lovely to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
So, Kim, we have just found out something incredible about you. You actually used to ride horses yourself, and obviously you know how much Marissa and I adore our horses.
Yes.
Tell us about your story before we get into, your background,
the other stuff,
the other important
Absolutely.
stuff.
So I was just mentioning that I live in a very equestrian oriented area of Georgia in the United States called Milton, Georgia. And it's just beautiful with the 4-board fencing, and everyone dreams of a horse farm here. And I did have one once upon a time. Always loved horses. I think they're just amazing creatures. Still love them. Was part of a pony club, ran that for my daughter, hunt club. Polo. My husband played polo, my former husband, all the things. So we were very much immersed in the horse world. Now I'm a real estate agent that helps other people find horse farms, develop horse farms, kind of create a family compound around that. And so it's really quite fascinating. I don't ride anymore because in 2001, I had a new horse I was training that kind of bolted for the corner and threw me up in the air. It was day after Christmas. So I fell very badly, not gracefully at all, and shattered my L2. And so there went, I was not supposed to walk again. And so this is a very uncommon story. Plenty of people enjoy the lifestyle. However, apparently I'm a better golfer than I am a horseback rider. So I am in awe of you two.
Certainly safer. Certainly safer. There are definitely times when we question our life choices, but we haven't had a bad injury, touch wood. And so we prevail at this point.
And there are people who are meant to horseback ride. I have several good friends who are excellent. I am a very good golfer. Exceptional golfer.
Well, that's a very specific talent in itself.
It is. And our husbands would love that. Kim.
Yes.
They'll be listening to this going, hey, let's go to Georgia.
Yes. Maybe
on.
She'll rub off on our two wives. Maybe they'll get into golf.
No, because here I am encouraging everyone I know, have your family have horses. It's a wonderful way to have children grow up.
Yeah,
and is the market big for home barns where you live?
Oh, yes.
Really? So that sounds like quite a niche area.
It is a niche area. So in Georgia has, in fact, I just went to Alabama, which is the neighboring state, to a rodeo. So, and it's a family compound over there. My husband's family has a compound, and they do Western riding, which is rodeo and roping. And they're like wrestling steer and all kinds of things. It's amazing. So their family compound is around Western riding. Here in Milton, we do more of show jumping, eventing, and things that's a little bit more prevalent, a little bit fancy, a little fancy. And so quite a few people I think there are 200 or so horse farms in our city. Wow. And they've just created the Milton Equestrian Committee. And so it is, Atlanta is creeping out towards our area. And so they're trying to preserve the rural community and keep this section of the city, the metro, more equestrian and rural feeling. And almost everyone in our area is very much for it. So much so that we don't allow fireworks because it scares the horses. Yeah. With our big 250-year celebration coming up, we don't want the horses to panic all summer.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Wow. Who would have thought?
Here in Atlanta, who would have thought it was Horse capital.
So from horses to real estate. So take us through your journey and because you're doing so much now. You're an author, you're a podcast host yourself. You've got an incredible background. Take us through a little bit of how you got to where you are.
Absolutely. So really, I was sort of living in misalignment. So for many decades, as we do as mothers and wives, and we just. I got a job with Xerox out of college and was doing the corporate thing. And then an opportunity arose for my former spouse and I to take over the family business, which was residential construction. So there went my corporate career, and I became an entrepreneur by default and handled the money side, which I was not trained in. So it did all, did all the things. I'll horseback ride. I can do everything. Very confident. I can be a horseback rider and an accountant and an extrovert living on a remote farm and all the things. And so I was living out of alignment with my home and everything. And so as I changed my life from being an accountant for 27 years, I was more of a people person. And so the shift developed by using a coach he had me using the Wheel of Life. And so as I changed my life and up-leveled all those 8 different areas that are portions of your life that like career, finance, family and friends, entertainment, like what do you like to do for fun? Like y'all love horses. And so that you need to have a home that has a barn and like is equipped for that type of lifestyle. And so that is probably a top priority for y'all, I would imagine. So anyway, as I changed my life, my home was changing and I was becoming a realtor. So when I started helping people in real estate, I noticed I started to categorize them in, oh, this is a finance career change. This is why they're moving. Or this is a family entertainment. Like, we want a horse farm and we have 5 kids. And so we're going to homestead and homeschool them. We need a facility and a home to do all that. So that's how the process developed.
Right. So it's about aligning people's lifestyle values with what their homes should be, essentially. And that's where your point of difference is. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Instead of looking at it at transactionally, like I need to sell this home, I need to find a home for these folks and, check it off the transactional box. It's more of, and this is what I learned in Xerox training. They trained me for 6 months. It was a coveted program to get in after college. And they train you on how to sell. But it wasn't about selling. It was about solving problems for the client. And that is how you sell. It's not about hitting your quota, although every company wants you to do that. The way you do it is finding out what needs aren't being met and meeting them through the product.
Yeah, and absolutely. So yeah.
In my case, it is finding a home or an environment or a community that solves the problems that the folks in the family or the person is having.
So how did that process help you? So can you take us through, as an example, what your process looked like as you went through all of this?
Oh, absolutely. So first thing was so there are the 4 M's. My framework follows a frame of a house. And so you have a foundation. A lot of folks in America have a basement. And so I call that the foundation under the house. And so if that's off or cracked or waters it's compromised, you feel it in the rest of the house. It's cracking, it's leaning, it's mold, it's all the things, bad things happen. And those are the 4 M's, the foundation. It's myself. Who am I? How was I made? What's my personality? What brings me joy? And have I created an environment to maximize that? So that's the first M, myself. Mastery is what gifts were I given? Y'all are excellent horseback riders. Unfortunately,
would we say excellent? I don't know. We're a work in progress. Passionate horseback riders.
That wasn't very good.
That's a better adjective, I think.
Passionate and capable and all the things.
Determined.
So you've determined, tenacious. You've mastered that. You're mastered that, and so that is brings joy, right? When you master something. Mission. You're on a mission to talk about your lifestyle and how you love the horsemanship and the horse life as a mounting block for the rest of your life. That's your focus. So that's your mission, is to offer that to other people. And then mates, do you surround yourself with people who support that, who see the real you, and they support you, they don't sabotage you. So those are the 4 M's. So that's where I started, because I was off base in many of the areas. And so I had to realign with who I actually was approaching midlife, or in midlife, 45, and make some more drastic changes than, little changes along the way to like learn interior design and do human resource develop master's work in anticipation of where I wanted to be later. So I couldn't make the change right away, but I knew I needed to align with my soul first and then make all of the changes, which also included changing my home.
And so was there, in the lead up to that,
Yes.
was there a breakdown or a something that struck you that went, oh my gosh, my life is not where I want it to be, I'm misaligned? Like, what was it that sort of was the pivotal moment where you thought something needed to change in my life to refocus or realign?
Honestly, the first pivotal moment was breaking my back and realizing, gosh, I shouldn't be walking. But then closely behind that, I was forced to stay at home because I couldn't drive. I was in a walker and barely walking. And so I started writing again, which I hadn't done in quite some time, but I used to love when I was a youth and got some acclimates about my writing. But I gave it up because I'm going to be in business and I'm going to do this and I'm going to be in sales, and that's the way to go. And so I ignored those gifts. And but while I was sitting at home and people were bringing my kids to school and feeding us dinner and taking care of the farm, I wrote the Oprah Winfrey Show and I won the essay contest, which, I mean, Oprah's known for her love of books and writing. So I was like, oh, awesome, right? So, oh my gosh, this is great. Well, no, the essay that I wrote was about friendship. And I finally started reading the book that the essay was about, the Yaya Sisterhood, Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. And in there was a character who was very unhappy in her home. And so the essay that I wrote kind of disappeared into the ether. This was 2001. It wasn't even emailed in. It was like a website where it disappeared. And I was like, what did I write? What did I even write? And then they said they wanted to come film at my house, at my farm, at Clarity Farm. And I was like, okay. And then I got off the phone and I was like, oh, no. I told them, no, you may not come to my house. So like,
this is the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Yeah.
Coming to your house.
Yeah.
No, you may not.
No, you may not.
No, thank you, Oprah.
Who does that? Who does that? It's embarrassing to admit. However, it is what I did. And so that was the real wake up call. Like, I just denied recognition for my writing, my essay, and B, Oprah was my hero. I watched her religiously live your best life, all the things. And I was like, I am so out of line with everything she's talking about right now. I have a broken back. How am I going to get this farm ready? How am I going to get myself ready? Millions of people are going to be seeing this. I'm a fake. And so I told them no. And I still got to go to the show and bring a bunch of friends, but I was not the main character. Like, they moved on to the next person. And I was like, I really had to reflect on that later, because that was such an opportunity for me to be my authentic self. And I wasn't. And the beautiful home I was living in was not a representation of what I was happy doing. I'm a golfer. And so I wasn't golfing, and now I'm golfing. Just a lot of things were out of alignment. And so that was the wake up call. That was 2001. It took me till 2016 to make the changes. Wow. But I did go to interior design school. I did get my human resource development master's work done. I did try to leave the accounting position that I was in, but while I was trying to do that, someone embezzled money who we hired. And so I needed to stay where I was for my family, but I knew eventually I wanted to make these changes. It just took a long time. That's why I've had a long time to think about this.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And is this primarily what your book is about?
Oh, the whole thing is about that story, the Clarity Farm story. And there's more to it, where the house was torn down. And that's when I became a realtor in 2016. And so from there, it just goes into the framework of how you set up your living environment to match who you are, like a home for your soul.
Okay.
And
so
how do
you do that for our listeners? Can you take a step by step, like what do you have? Because I wouldn't do that today.
Yeah, what do I need to change? I'm keen.
Well, I mean, it can be small. So the subtitle of my book, the title's Live in Your Wheelhouse, and the subtitle is An Empowering Guide to Stay, Go, or Reno. Reno short for renovate. It just rhymes, so that's what I put it.
Oh, look, we're Australian. We just shorten everything with an O. So
there you go. Good.
I don't even know if anyone says renovate.
It's all Renos.
You get it. I've got people who don't understand it. I'm like, it's part of the design world. You'll get it later. And so, anyway, it can be a small change, like refunctioning a room because your life has changed. Like your kids have left your empty nester and now you're podcasting. Let's repurpose part of a room for your podcast studio because that's who you are now, or that's who you want to be.
That's what I did.
That's what you did. Yes. Exactly what
this room we're sitting in right now used to be a playroom for the kids. And I was like, they don't have toys anymore. Now we're going to turn it into an office. Yeah.
It's about life change. The kids are at school. You guys have a little time now, it seems. And so it's about changing your living environment while your life is changing. So life change brings about changes in your home, or your home will keep you stuck in the former stage. And so after those 4 M's that I mentioned, that's the foundation, the basement, you go up to the living area, and those 8 areas, which are finance, health, environment, career, romance, fun and leisure, which horseback riding, all the fun, fun stuff, spirituality, which can be for the religious or just simply, it just means something bigger than yourself, whatever that may be for you. And then the last one, which is super important, is family and friends. You're having a baby, might need a bigger house. You're empty nester, maybe you'll get a place at the beach and it's downsize where you are now, et cetera. So, and then from there, at the very top of the house is self-actualization. Are you being your true self, living in an environment that supports and reflects who you are, and that people walk in and they say, this is so you, I'm so comfortable here. And you can carry on your lifestyle the way that you want it.
It's so interesting because I think when you're younger, you think about a house being just an investment or something that you have to do or you should do. When you're going, shopping for real estate, and when you do look at those things, it is so much about the feel of how when you find a place eventually that feels right and all that sort of stuff. But it's interesting. I don't know if I've ever consciously thought about connecting what is going on in my life with the house that I'm in. But I think without having a framework to do it, my friends will tell me that I'm like a crazy reinventor of rooms.
I love it.
But what that for me is when my life feels chaotic and I feel like everything's sort of, the walls are falling down, I redo a room in a house because I need it to be like a new Zen space, or I need it to be like a different feeling, like a fresh feeling. And so I think I've lived in this house 4 years, and I think just about every main room has had like multiple iterations over those 4 years. But I've actually never aligned it to what the purpose of it is. I've always thought it was probably more a reflection of my mental state at the time.
Or your personality. Some people are high change. My father was high change, and he would love to move all the time. Let's go on our next adventure. Let's go to the mountains and join the golf club, and let's go to the beach. And they opened a tennis center. I mean, so that was his thing. He loved that stuff. My mom did not like change, so it was kind of like 2 different personalities compromising on what they wanted. And so sometimes, if you're a creative person, you need a room for all your stuff, your current project to stay on the table. But if you're more of a logical person doing logical tasks, everyone has a personality. And often opposites attract because you fill in the spaces you don't have. And so if that person doesn't have a space to be organized, and the creative person's stuff is everywhere and it's distracting them, it's going to cause a problem in the house. And so there's a function for every space and for every person in the house, or there should be. And so that's my theory on choosing a home and creating a home, or repurposing spaces in a home. It's because your life role has changed, or something's not fitting the personality of the people in the home, or someone doesn't have a space, or there's it's functionality. And it's based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if anyone's familiar with that.
Yeah. So once you've done that, once you've gone through those, you've looked at your 4 M's. So you started in the basement, then you've moved up to the top, and you've recognized the fact, well, this house that I'm in right now is not the right house for me. It's not where I should be for whatever reason. Then you go about the start of the change. Okay, so now we're going to go and look for a new house. How do you translate that into the houses that you're looking at? Because it's actually harder than it sounds, to find the right one amongst all of those sort of, parameters that you put around there.
Well, actually, it's easier. You know why? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many hours us real estate agents look for homes? And at the beginning, there are several full days of looking at homes, just trying to determine what people want. And you bring them to 12 homes in a town, or 3 homes in 4 cities, to narrow down what kind of feel they want for the community, what's important to them. If they walk in a home, I'm a very intuitive person. So I like to listen and intuit how they're feeling about a certain space. But if you have a process like the Wheelhouse assessment, they're reading these chapters and taking the assessment and grading their current home versus their ideal home, or if they're moving cities, what their ideal home would look like, community spaces, functions, and needs wise. And so you've already eliminated, oh gosh, that's not going to work for them because the primary bedroom's downstairs. They have young children. They want it upstairs. So so you've just saved an hour of your time and their time, and no one's getting frustrated because you already know that's not going to work, or it doesn't have a backyard. They have a dog, and that's not going to work either. She likes to play tennis. There's no tennis court in the neighborhood. That's not going to work. And so narrowing down, at least initially, some of their choices helps you get right to the meat of the matter and really get a little bit deeper as to you like more light. It's not, because people get tired of looking at homes. So if you can get right to the point with people and eliminate all the 20 homes that have worn them out before we've narrowed down what they actually need, it's very helpful.
It must be incredibly satisfying when you do find the right one.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you just pray both of them like it. Sometimes one person likes it and the other doesn't, and then it becomes a compromise.
Compromise. Yeah, I bet the woman typically wins.
A lot of times that is correct.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds right. Yeah, it's so interesting. I think it's such a world that, there probably does need to be a change in terms of more heart in it and more thought. I think, sadly in Australia, I don't know if it's the case in the States, but real estate agents don't often have the best reputation. They can be a lot of churn and burn.
They don't here either. We're in the bottom 10 with car deals.
So it's refreshing.
I know a lot of good real estate agents, but I don't know if you have Selling Sunset there or someone. It's just we're perceived in a very transactional way. And
so I really like that you're putting more heart and thought and depth into finding that, because it is such a personal thing. And I think you're really on the money with that, with understanding people's wants and needs and driving their lifestyle towards what it is you're trying to find
and clarifying.
For them. And clarifying.
I'm here to clarify.
That's true, because it's confusing, right?
It's confusing, and it's a lot of information. It's overwhelming. It's one of the top 3 stressors of your life to move, along with divorce and death. I mean, moving's the third. It's really stressful, and it's a huge monetary investment. And if you do it wrong, it is.
Does it take a lot more time from your perspective as a realtor? Does it take a lot more time to actually go through it in the way that you've been talking about today? Do you do that with everybody that comes to you?
I don't. Well, I have this process in my head, but if I walked into a client and rattled off the 100 whatever questions that are in my book. Some pertain, some don't pertain. There are probably several hundred, actually, not to overwhelm anybody, but some doesn't apply. Oh, that one, yeah, we might get a dog that applies. So write it down. So the first thing I talk about is, what is the main reason you want to move? Or a remodel or whatever it is. And because we don't have enough space, or it's whatever it is, it's too small. We don't like the school, whatever it is. And that's the primary part. And so I'll give them the book and, say, go ahead and read through this. And then sometimes I'll say, I hadn't thought about spirituality, but it is a thing. Like, we'd like to be close to this. Like, even if it's a yoga center, I do, like, whatever it is, that I hadn't thought about that, but that's not my primary goal, but that is a consideration. Like, that would be a bonus if we were within, 10 minutes of a yoga center that I could go to. So it does encompass all of the wants and needs, but then it's up to the client to prioritize them. So we start right off with their main priorities, but then I think that the client is happier when we address all 8 areas, or they at least read through all the questions and take 2 days to read through the book and then talk amongst themselves, because they may uncover something they hadn't thought about that will come up later or after they bought the house that they hadn't considered. And so
that would be devastating, wouldn't it?
Totally. 82% of everyone who bought a home here in the United States in 2023 and 24 had a major regret. And 15% of everyone who bought a home in those 2 years didn't even like the house they ended up in. That's like 3 million people a year who don't even like their home.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I know.
I don't think we have that much choice in Australia.
No. Well, that's the thing. They didn't have a lot of choice then. It was not a buyer's market. It's moving that way now. Now we have time. Like, we're not in a bidding war the first day. So we now have time to see 20 homes if they want, and pick and choose.
Yeah. Do you, what's, I guess a final question maybe is, what does the future look like with real estate and the state of, the world for you? And are you optimistic about, what the market's doing?
The market will market. I mean, we had the crash over here in 2008 and we rebounded. We've been going up ever since. It is 2026. Normally we have a correction every 12 years. So to me, being 60 years old now, cycles are inevitable. It's how you prepare for them. And inevitably people find solutions to problems that exist. So right now, the young people are having trouble affording homes because of inflation and expenses going up and interest rates going up. So what's happening, which I find very fascinating, is multi-generational living is coming back in style.
It's very similar here too.
Yeah. And that's not only solving a financial issue, it's solving a happiness issue, because people are feeling disconnected. And so I think we will correct. When there's a hard time, we will correct in some way. So it's not just financial solution. It's let's get the family back together. People are tired of being disconnected. It's a health issue. We'll take care of grandma, but grandma's going to take care of the grandchildren, so mom and dad can go work and afford the house. Yeah, it's a way of legacy and passing down not only wealth, but family stories and memories and things like that. So I'm a very optimistic person. I'm helping a multi-generational family develop an equestrian farm right now. They're all in on, having the ponies, and they're going to start with a 6-stall barn, but it's all about family and it's about passing generational wealth. And they're using a horse farm, which is a great tie back to y'all, to create, all those good things. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
It's a really positive. Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea of a family compound too.
It's beautiful. Yeah, well, that's so interesting. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you,
really
Kim.
Fascinating.
We're all going to take a good look at our houses and our lives and go through that step process. We'll have a look at your book. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
It is my pleasure, for sure.
No, it was so lovely to chat. And thanks everyone for joining us. And we will chat to you all next week.
See you next time.
See you next time.